going to be a short one. I'm doing a Growl podcast. I'm going to upload everything. Let's see what happens. So, look what I got. So what we have right now is a very, what I got is a very dicey topic that a lot of old people didn't really want to answer. Right? I talked about it. I was like, it's a debate between, like, if you draft, right? People went to the draft a lot because they didn't want to start business. They needed help starting a business and no one's going to invest in it, right? Draft is a very, very valuable way of starting a business historically, right? It gave you clients to begin with, right? A lot of the enemies you fought against, right? In the Middle East, they were your customers because you bonded over killing each other. So I remember, I know this sounds messed up, but this is the form of persuasion, right? War and bullets is a form of persuasion. It forces people, and now let me put some conditions on it. It just depends, and the condition is the war has to be where you're forced to all have a treaty, right? Like let's say, I'll give you an example, hypothetically, like in World War I, like Europe and Germany had to negotiate, right? For a ceasefire because they're all running out of ammunition, right? So these are under specific conditions, and by the way, they're very common. But no one really wants to talk about them that way. The joke is they all lie about it. It's like right as like one side's about to win, it's like a Pyrrhic victory for both sides, right? It's for battles that are Pyrrhic victories. And a lot of battles, like probably 50, if not more. More like 90, but you know what I mean, right? A lot of these civil wars are Pyrrhic victories. That's how you create the best business relationships, which no one wants to talk about. That's why you get the quote, like, war is the mother of all innovations, right? Because you're like, well, I'm your business partner regardless of, or customer, right? Regardless of regardless of how you sell your stuff. That's how you start, right? You don't have to try any form of commercialism. You don't have to pay anything up front. They just give you the fee. Yeah, that's kind of what happens. Because people don't really want to chat. Like having a nice bow tie, having a nice suit, that doesn't really win people over. Trying to shoot bullets, right, at each other, that forces people to come together and talk. Hate is probably one of the strongest, I think, determinant factor. Because people don't like playing the long-term game of, I'm nice, right? And there's going to be periods where I go all out and risk losing my social capital to get some monetary resources, right? Right, and then once you get that initial seed flux capital, you can then play the peace game, which starts becoming really profitable. Right, and if there's no money during the wartime, right, the military members were expected to form their own businesses using chain gangs, right? So you see, like, think in the 20s or 40s, you see a lot of these military members, they form gangs for a reason, like the Crips, the Bloods, whatever, right? They're military sanctioned because there weren't enough wars. Right? Because when you go on war, people immediately understand, I don't have to think about persuasion, I just have to give you money and resources, right? Because that's the alternative. You just give money. Right? Because this is easy. It's like, so it's always easier to capitalize on fear, right? Oh, I am advertising because I lost stuff, right? You're about to lose more stuff. You need to purchase my product, right? That's the highest selling product. The ones like, you purchase my stuff so you don't lose all the stuff you already own. And the one that takes more work is like, hey, buy my new product, right? Because you understand your old product's way better than a completely new product. Saying I need an upgrade because of X, Y, and Z is not really a strong case of reasoning. It's a very weak form of reasoning. It is. Think about it. It's like you want to buy the new iPhone 6. It's like, but why? My iPhone 5 has these functionality I want already, right? As opposed to, hey, invest in the gun or else this X... Now, you don't say, I threatened you, right? You say, or X, Y, and Z enemy is going to go take it all away, right? And it's a very real threat. That's what makes money. Right? And then the peace treaty is a way of getting a future customer, right? We all did this back then. Because people don't really want to talk. I don't mind. It's just what life is. Like, because we're all prioritizing survival first. That's why socialization came into being, so we can communicate our threats more. The joke is we don't actually have to use the threat. We can actually start, and both sides agree to do this. Because there's no real way to talk to people to buy stuff these days. In all seriousness, can you think of a way? Right? A lot of people are skeptical of products they buy, so what do? They do disclaimer labels back then to give assurances. What I'm doing is I'm turning politics into a product for you to sell. It's a product now. And you have to LARP, right? Because people LARP all the time to sell stuff. There's not really much of a choice, it's just what it is. You don't have a choice. You can... Now, I'm always playing the game. Now the other ones I think genuinely... And I do too, right? And that's my part of my deal. But regardless of how I feel, I'll vouch for progressivism. I have no regrets. I got what I wanted. You do your end, I do my end. I do my best to vouch for all, right? We all do this all the time. Right? I work for Microsoft, I vouch for Microsoft. I work for Safeway, I vouch for Safeway. It's part of the deal. You don't have to if someone else allows you freedom. Right? If you're an employer. I, however, don't care, because that's what you have to do as a CEO. A lot of CEOs do this, I think. They're too terrified to contemplate, or something like that. That's how you make it big. Now, as for taking over stuff, that's a given. Right? Once you become established enough, you do attack people. It's just what it is. Right? Right? When people become strong enough, don't they kill other people? Because they legally can, and it's profitable. I've always been sort of a utilitarian species. It's just what it is. Right? We still live in the dog-eat-dog world, right? To some extent. Because animals are dog-eat-dog, aren't they? And we are mammalian species. Now, I personally... always for cooperation. But, it's what it is. I'll end it here. I have a lot to write about. I gotta go fix some stuff, too. Yeah, I do. There's also... I see a lot of value in a lot of esoteric things, since I can't invest in cash, since I don't have a job. I look at some other things. Like, creating your own economy has value. Even if no one provides, right? I see the value in it inherently, because I study the past a lot. Right? If you create your own economy, people will look at it, and then I can maybe use it to get myself some job security, right? Economies, regardless of how they're made, right? That's why you want to work for free, because it gets you some sort of power, or a social power, right? That's part of the social rules of the social fabric. You volunteer long enough, you get your own power. I've been trying to get job security for a while, because you don't know. You want to participate in some of the more dangerous marketplaces, right? Where, like, there's some topics no one's going to vouch for you except for yourself. And then other people vouch for you later. Yeah, so my role is... Anyways, I'll talk about this later. I have so many other topics.